This is Godfrey, an African-American comedian who has appeared in such classics as Soul Plane and Fat Girls. During an appearance on Willie D Live, Godfrey made some dubious claims.
You know, black people invented hockey in 1895?
I'm sorry, what?
Black people invented hockey in 1895 in Nova Scotia, 22 years before the NHL.
But the NHL didn't invent hockey either.
There's a book called Black Ice. You can see it.
Godfrey is referring to this book by George and Daryl Fosty titled Black Ice, The Lost History of the Colored Hockey League of the Maritimes, 1895 to 1925. And as you can surmise from the title, the book is about the creation of the first black hockey league, not the invention of hockey. So I'm guessing that Godfrey didn't read the book, whatever. And for the record, the first indoor game of ice hockey was played in 1875, 20 years before the Black Hockey League was formed.
That's why I believe African Americans are the strongest on the planet, because the that they've gone through and they're still around, educated, building universities, inventing damn near everything in America, it's unreal.
Yeah, it's unreal, all right.
When you, this motherfuckers can barely build an app, and motherfuckers invented, what, GPS is a black woman?
So Godfrey is claiming that white people can't build software applications or something. But then he proceeds to list off several black inventors and their inventions. First, claiming that a black woman invented GPS. However, the actual inventors would be Roger L. Easton of the Naval Research Laboratory, Ivan A. Getting of the Aerospace Corporation, and Bradford Parkinson of the Applied Physics Laboratory. Now, the black woman that Godfrey is referring to is Dr. Gladys West, who worked on the development of computational techniques for detecting satellite positions with precision. In other words, she was a primary architect of the mathematics that make GPS work. And while she should be celebrated for her contributions, it is factually incorrect to say that Dr. West invented GPS.
Well, 3D imaging is a black woman?
Godfrey is referring to Valerie Thomas, a prominent African-American scientist and inventor who spent over 30 years at NASA. However, Miss Thomas did not invent 3D imaging, as stereoscopy dates back to the 1800s. In 1976, Dr. Thomas was working on experiments surrounding how concave mirrors produce images that appear in front of the mirror, producing a 3D-like effect. So what Valerie Thomas patented was a device called the illusion transmitter that detected a 3D illusion on one end and then transmitted that image to a concave mirror in another location. The illusion transmitter didn't become a thing, but the technology behind the illusion was incorporated into other projects. But more importantly, Dr. Thomas managed major projects at NASA, including the development of the digital media formats for the Landsat program, and she became the resident expert on computer-compatible tapes, or CCTs, that were used to store early Landsat imagery. Here she is, pictured with those tapes.
Laser eye surgery is a black woman?
Wrong. Laser eye surgery was first developed by James Wynn, Raghuswami Srinivasan, and Samuel E. Bloom. The laser technique that they researched went on to become the foundation for LASIK eye surgery. What is LASIK? It's a procedure that utilizes a laser to create a corneal flap and treat the underlying eye tissue. So what is this claim about a black woman inventing laser eye surgery? Well, again, Godfrey is confused. He may be thinking of Patricia Bath. While Dr. Bath did not invent LASIK, she did invent and receive a medical patent for a laser technique for removing cataracts. This achievement has helped restore or improve vision to millions of patients worldwide. Pigeonholing Dr. Bath as a black woman inventor doesn't remotely do her work or her accomplishments justice.
Escalators, a black inventor.
Wrong. The first escalator, then called the endless conveyor or elevator, was invented and patented by Jesse W. Reno in 1892. The Escalator was featured as an amusement ride at Coney Island's Iron Pier in 1896.
Elevators in Black Amender.
Oh my God, take a breath. So the first recorded instance of an elevator is in the writings of the Roman architect Vitruvius, who reported that Archimedes built the first elevator that used pulleys and winches in about 240 BCE. Later, more complex animal-powered and slave-powered lifts were used in the Roman Colosseum. The inventor of the world's first electric elevator was Werner von Siemens, and his invention was first displayed at the Mannheim Trade Exhibition in 1880.
The roller coasters, Granville T. Woods, roller coaster, everything.
While Granville T. Woods was a prolific inventor and earned nearly 60 patents in his lifetime, he did not invent the roller coaster. That distinction goes to Lamarcus A. Thompson of Baltimore, Maryland, who invented and patented this roller coasting structure in 1885. Lamarcus Thompson isn't black, by the way. Now let's take a look at Granville T. Woods' roller coaster. According to the patent, it's an amusement apparatus in which racetracks are used. Each motor-driven device, i.e. the car, would have an independent speed controller to change its speed. In other words, it's not a roller coaster, let alone the first roller coaster, but it is pretty cool.
The cell phone.
The cell phone, I was just watching the thing on the cell phone.
I don't know what Godfrey was watching, but it wasn't accurate. This is Martin Cooper, an American engineer widely recognized as the father of the cell phone. In 1973, Cooper made the first public cell phone call from a handheld device while standing on a sidewalk in New York City. Fun fact, he called his rival Joel Engel, who worked at Bell Labs at AT&T. Cooper led the team at Motorola that developed the Dynatac 8000X, also known as the Brick, which became the first commercial handheld cellular phone when it hit the market in 1983.
Our video games is Jerry Lawson in Silicon Valley. They try not to mention him, but he's the reason why we have Xbox, Atari. He did the first, before Atari, the F1 series.
Godfrey is referring to Jerry Lawson, best known as the chief hardware engineer and director of engineering for Fairchild Semiconductor. There, he led the development of the Fairchild Channel F video game console. What made the Fairchild Channel F special is that it was the world's first cartridge-based video game system. Other than that, it was a commercial failure, but you know.
He did the first, before Atari, the F1 series.
Fact check false. The Magnavox Odyssey in 1972 and Atari's Pong in 1975 preceded the Fairchild Channel F, which was released in 1976.
Jerry Lawson, a black dude who invented home videos.
I'm starting to think that Godfrey doesn't know what he's talking about.
Super Soaker, Lonnie Jackson.
Everyone knows that Lonnie Johnson invented the Super Soaker, which is like the greatest thing ever.
It just goes on. Sanitary napkins. It's a woman.
A woman or a black woman? Whatever. Long story short, Mary Beatrice Kenner did not invent sanitary napkins. She did, however, receive a patent for a sanitary belt, which never went into production. And for the record, sanitary belts existed decades prior to Kenner's improved design.
Our ADT, our security system, is a black woman in Queens, Mary Van Brighton. In 1966, she invented the home security.
Godfrey is referring to Marie Van Britten Brown, who along with her husband, Albert Brown, were granted a patent for an audio-video alarm system for households. The invention included video surveillance, complete with a speaker and a microphone to communicate over radio waves with whoever was at the door, as well as buttons to operate the door lock, alert a guard, or sound an alarm. However, the Browns home security system was never physically produced or installed. This is more of a concept than an actual invention. And notice that Godfrey specifically said ADT, like ADT didn't exist before Mary Van Britten Brown. It existed, it's existed since 1874.
You talking about open heart surgery, Daniel Hale,
He means Dr. Daniel Hale Williams. In 1893, Williams became the first African American on record to have successfully performed surgery to repair a wound on a heart wall. 2 years prior, Henry Dalton performed the same type of surgery, which was the first of its kind in the United States.
Plasma, Charles Drew.
Plasma is the liquid part of your blood. No one invented it. But Dr. Charles R. Drew is referred to as the father of the blood bank, as his work developed efficient methods for the long-term storage and processing of blood plasma.
We can keep going.
Do we have to?
Surgical equipment, black people inventing, just constantly inventing.
Wait, like all surgical equipment?
And they took everything and lied, but now things are coming into the light.
Pro tip, Godfrey, the whole "they stole it" narrative only works if you ignore the actual patent records, the paper trails of engineering, and the centuries of incremental progress. That's why I brought the receipts. In fact, I always bring the receipts. Do better, Godfrey. And on that note, that's it for now. Follow me on X at Don't Walk Run. Be sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. A special thanks to Poofy with her help with the script. And maybe go buy a Clown World t-shirt. Maybe send one to Godfrey, I don't know. As always, thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time, if there is next time.